Okay, ladies and gents, I don't think you're really all that prepared for this. Oh boy, Bubsy Games review. Yep, we're reviewing this trash heap. As you can see, this is going to be one hell of a ride. See, Bubsy 1 was released in 1991 on the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo to compete against the likes of Super Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, the first Bubsy game received mixed reviews, but it was okay. It has a lot of unfair deaths as a negative, as shown there. It's literally like one hit and you die. But the color palettes and graphics were actually pretty good for the time. On to Bubsy 2. Now, the game itself was much more improved in terms of gameplay, in that Bubsy can now have weapons such as a laser pistol, as shown here, but he could also carry cannonballs. There's side games like the ones shown here, similar to Sonic's special stages. But there was one glaring problem. The gameplay levels were horrendously repetitive, and Bubsy himself in both the first and the second game was so fast at running that he was almost uncontrollable. The bosses were hugely repetitive and were just the same rinse and repeat pattern. There was literally no effort put into them. There was even a Bubsy 2 version on the Game Boy, which is terrible to play. But the following year there was Bubsy for the Jaguar, and I must say it is absolutely gorgeous, as I've played it on the PS5. But we're here, really and truthfully, for the elephant in the room, the one and only game that almost killed the franchise off for good. Now, we all know that Bubsy Bobcat is the most annoying cretin in gaming history. The game developers at this point made a 3D game version of him with the ambition to make him compete up against Sonic, Mario, and the then popular Crash Bandicoot. And he's still popular, by the way. Yes, what you're about to see is my very first playthrough footage of this godforsaken dumpster fire that has not just been dumped on us once, but dumped on us all over again now on the PSN store. It is Bubsy 3D, and it's not just been dumped twice on the PSN store, once on the PSN store, it's been dumped twice in the Bubsy Bobcat Perfect Collection. Oh yeah, there are two versions of it. There's the original version and the Perfect Edition. Now, I've only played through the Perfect Edition because I wanted to see how that stood up, as it has apparently remastered controls. They control like dog shit on a shoestring. I am telling you now, the game is no different than what it was like in 1996. Don't be fooled by the fact that you have analog controls now on it. It's still terrible to control, because I do have the original copy in my PlayStation 1 collection somewhere. I just couldn't get through it before. But my God, is this game terrible! I mean, just look at these graphics. You could find better graphics on a clip art image. And if you think you're missing out on the dialogue in this cutscene, no, you're not. I'm talking more sense than any of these stupid fucking cunts. Oh fuck, we're doomed. Who the fuck let this little shit in there? Wait a minute. I know who he reminds me of now. Oh god. He reminds me of Ed Sheeran. Wait a minute, that's an insult to Ed Sheeran. This game is full of cat puns, and there you go, there it is. The nightmare has begun. This game, believe it or not, was sold to compete against Super Mario 64. Yeah, this. Yep. Look at it. Look at it, people. This is your opening level to Bubsy 3D. This is not a tutorial. It's an opening level. Now, could you imagine this rivaling up, standing toe to toe successfully against King Bobom's Battlefield? No, not exactly. Right, basically to give you an overhaul about the story, an overview I mean. The overview is this. Bubsy is imprisoned on the Woolies planet, and he's tried to escape them. So basically, they're trying to stop him from escaping, and yet they blame him for all of the disasters that have happened on their planet. Well, I'm no Einstein, but this is what I would want to say to the leader of the Woolies, and that is, just let him go. If you don't want any more disasters. It's like when I watch episode 1 of Star Wars and I see the Emperor of Otogunga, and he, brings Jar Jar Binks back because, Jar Jar Binks comes back and he brings him to court, and it's all because of all the disasters Jar Jar had done in the past. I'm like, dude, just let Jar Jar go. You don't want him to come back? Let him go. Christ oh bloody mighty. Right. I'm going to give you some info on how to complete this game if you're going to play it. The switches in the game activate certain solutions on how to beat the game or the game's levels. Like that one said wall, therefore I opened up a wall because it couldn't be bothered to place a puzzle for you to actually achieve. Some others will have platform activate or, you know, things like jetpack or something. Now, this game, I don't know how to describe it because it's definitely enraging, and you'll hear some of my rage moments later on. But this game, I'm not 100% sure how many cutbacks it had. But I understand that the game has its cult following type. But as you can see, it's one of those games that requires you to have precision jumping. You literally have to get the jump precisely done right. And yeah, good luck with that. This game absolutely sucks. The only way you can defeat your enemies in this is by jumping on them. So, for some stupid reason, the developers decided to get rid of the weapons aspect in BUBSY II, which is the best game in the franchise, and also had the most repetitive gameplay. See, Bubsy is a character that should be long forgotten, long demolished. I long for the day where there's a game in the franchise where you are actually one of the Woolies and you are tasked with destroying Bubsy, first-person shooter style. That actually, I imagine, would sell billions. But this game here was so bad that it caused the franchise to go extinct for 21 years. Until there was a PS4 game called Bubsy the Woolies Strike Back. I think there was one more after that, and then it just died again after that. But as you can see, I'm having a whale of a time on this. This game's fucking shit. It's fucking shit. That's having diarrhea itself. And this is just the opening level. If you wonder what the twirly arrows are, they are basically checkpoints. Oh, this is another thing. You are also advised to get, for the good ending in the game, you're advised to get all these little rockets that are located in the game. They're located in the game's levels. There's usually 2 per level. You do not have to get them, because the ending I got was perfectly satisfactory. Bubsy gets captured. Oh, and also if you suffer from severe epilepsy or even epilepsy, I would advise being cautious with this game, because when you do get a rocket, there are severe strobe style effects. In fact, if you have severe epilepsy, I'd avoid the game The game absolutely sucks. Now we're on to the second level. And you've probably guessed right, the levels get worse and worse as the game goes on. I mean, it's like as if someone who works in computer programming, it's like as if someone had their boss come into their room one Sunday evening and said, Gary, listen, it's me, Tony, right? We got a game that's due out tomorrow, right? This is it, yep. It's called BUBSY BUBSY 3D, right? I want you to create it, design it, and all that. Yep, I want it on my desk tomorrow morning and out on store shelves tomorrow afternoon. Do it now! And this is what they came up with. Either that or a bunch of lads went to a pub one night and, you know, after a few beers and all that, they probably thought, you know what we should do? We should create a video game. You've got some video game creation stuff around, haven't you? We'll create it and then we'll give it to Sony, right? And they'll verify it. Yeah. What should the game be about? Well, people like things with the colour ginger, right? And people like cats. We'll make it about a ginger bobcat. And the thing is, right, we'll make him so funny he's annoying, right? Yeah? Because that'll sell millions. Or even if it don't sell millions, we got our own copy of it. Good on you. I like it. What shall we call it? BUBSY 3D. Right, that's it. And what should the story be about? It should be about a bunch of woolies that got him captured. Right, well, I got that all down on a beer mat. We'll do it tonight and we'll have it out in the shops tomorrow. Yep, I think that's pretty much it, to be honest. I think that's what happened. I mean, look at what this is supposed to be. Can somebody tell me what the fuck this is? I mean, we had odd traps in the earlier games, but nothing like this. I mean, it looks like the sun is on LSD. Damn it, I mean, the sun's got some groovy dance moves. Look at him go. It's murder on the dance floor. You better not kill the groove. But these are just some of the traps you will encounter in the game. And they make no logical sense. There's no tactical thinking around them. It's all a matter of just chance in getting past them. So, yeah, you could be stuck there for ages, and whilst you feel like you're crap at the game, it's actually not you that's crap. It's the game itself. It's been programmed stupidly, and anyone who plays this game should be refunded just for playing it. They don't even tell you all the controls in the game itself. You do get a menu, however, on the remastered version. But let's face it, how many people are going to read the bloody menu before they start the game? Come on! I mean, it's like when I play Batman Dark Tomorrow, right? I'm still... you know, the gamer still gets controls on how to play the game at the final stage of the game. That itself is poor programming. And I'm not even a programmer. But I've learned these things from people who've studied it. The thing is though, what makes good programming, from what I understand, is that the tutorials that are in the game teach you both at the beginning and also little bits and pieces in the middle. Because the game should expect you to pick up these things along your journey in the game's narrative. By the time you reach the finale, the game should by that point, or the developers I should say, should by that point expect you to understand the game's controls and mechanics. See, here is footage of when I was at the third part of the game. Now, I had no idea of what this has to do with the story. Mind you, I did skip the cutscenes, but then that's because I had been playing through the game a few years ago, so I roughly knew what to expect. And have you noticed something as well? This seems to be very similar to the first level. It's because most of these levels are just rinse and repeat. This is why Bubsy never took off as an iconic platformer. And by this point, the game starts to get more tricky. It's tricky enough due to its clunky controls. And that's on the remastered version of this game! Oh. But yes, this came out the same year as Super Mario 64 and Crash Bandicoot. It sucks so much, this game. I mean, if you're wondering what the exclamation marks are, they are basically the end of level warp portals. Basically, why someone couldn't put a doorway there, I do not know. Oh. Now, for those wondering what those codes mean, they basically mean the passwords for the original copy of the game. And here we are at the game's first boss battle. And don't get ecstatic, this is not Ripperoo. This is like as if someone literally just took a basic game making tool and thought, yep, that ought to do it. I mean, I'm literally finding it hard to say things about this game that haven't already been said before. But the trick to do here is to wait until he dollops paintballs onto the keyboard arena, and then you glide onto the dollops before they vanish, and hope that you actually manage to bounce up and hover enough, high enough to actually float above him. If you do this, you then land on his head and land a hit on him. Like that. Just like that. So, yep. Paintballs. That's rubbish.
Your phone is charging you?
Yeah. The collision detection in this game sucks as well. The music is beyond repetitive. And I do apologise you keep seeing the rewind button. It is literally because I keep dying with one hit. The maximum amount of hits you can take with full health is 3. And there's no such thing as health pickups in this. None at all. Oh, and the collision detection is so unfair that sometimes when you land a hit on someone, you die instead of them. This is an absolute travesty of a game. It's even worse than Superman 64. This was a mission that follows where you're underwater and you think, you know, that could take a long time. Guess what? It took me 1 minute and 35 seconds. The next mission is another puzzle piece set in some form of a chemical factory, I think. And I couldn't help but think that Batman and the Joker were going to turn up here. That'd be quite entertaining. If Batman just turned up and went to Bubsy, where are they? And, you know, Bubsy just squirmed. God damn it, I hate this fucking little shit. This is where the game starts getting really, really tricky now with its controls. I know you've heard about me saying about the controls a lot in this game, but believe me, they suck! To describe what they feel like, I'll tell you. I would rather put my hands in boiling hot molten lava, gouge my eyes out with red hot pokers when it comes to the graphics, but also the agony of the controls as well. I'd rather be put through the pit and the pendulum than have an experience like this ever again. In fact, I'd rather go through any of Jigsaw's traps from the Saw franchise than go through this ever again. And when it comes to listening to the voices, I'd rather listen to Jigsaw than this annoying little bastard. In fact, when I completed this game, I couldn't help but think of the word game over. I was even thinking things like this when I got to this point, which is only halfway through the game. I mean, what's the point about the rockets? Why do we have a little mini rave going on when there's a rocket that I collect? Seriously, when I pick up a rocket, I'm expecting some kind of heavy rock band to turn up. This game doesn't know what it wants to be. Thank God Conker's Bad Fur Day came along after this, which is a complete piss take of this game. I would love to see that on PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. I doubt it will happen, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. And it's because of that game I have a strange attraction to sunflowers. If you know, you know. I'm actually getting, I'm running out of steam on what to say about this game. I mean, I've got loads of footage here, but look at it, it's just, why? Oh, I would love to know what game got turned down for the opportunity of this game being made. I would really love to know what game got turned down for this. Come on, tell us! Anyway, the next mission that follows is another underwater mission. This is what they are like. And what you have to do in the underwater missions is keep getting batteries. Yep. Easier said than done when you've got about everything in here trying to kill you. But yeah, the path to the victory of these missions is simply follow the path of the batteries and these protons, I think they are, and you're fine. Aye. This. Then we have another one of these chemical factory weapons. Again, rinse and repeat. Because they just couldn't be bothered to come up with anything new by this point, the developers. The arrows point you in the direction of where you're meant to go, and most of the time they do an okay job. And this side game really is the most annoying side game of them all. But the clue here is, look at the platform the alien is on, and you have to copy the colour and rhythm the alien goes in. Every time. It's excruciatingly dull. Now, the first time you come across this, you do not have to do the game itself. But the second time in the game you come across this, you have to do it. So it's worth practicing. Believe me, this sucks harder than any other sub game I played in any game at all. And I'm not just talking about Bubsy games, I'm talking about any game. And I've been playing video games now for 35 years. This sucks. See, even the most suckiest of video games up to this point in my life have been able to have that strange effect where they start off badly, but then they gradually start to build up a little bit of potential in them, even if they're still terrible. Bubsy, on the other hand, oh no, he does the amazing accomplishing feat of doing the reverse. He starts off badly, then he sucks a bit in the middle, and then the less said about the ending, the better. Otherwise, excellent. To quote Blackadder.
It's ridiculous.
And yes, I'm showing you this footage to teach you all not to fall into the trap of this self-contentious little shit. Just look at him. Look at him. I just want to punch his smug little face whenever I see that title screen go up. I wish I'd saved my money for Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Instead, I'm doing this dog shit.
Oh, fucking shit! This is. It's.
Oh yes, you also do get some superpowers in the game, but they're temporary. I'm putting this footage in for you all to laugh at as well. Seeing Bubsy get absolutely tortured. And there's another underwater mission as well. This one is the worst out of them. Ugh. By the way, the underwater missions are timed, which is why you have to get the batteries, because Bubsy will run out of oxygen. Bubsy, the character, is the most excruciatingly annoying little shitbag. He is literally just all about himself all the time, and you just want to punch him within the first 30 seconds of playing Bubsy 3D or any Bubsy game. And he's got the most annoying voice ever. To give you an impression of what his voice is like in dialogue, it's like this: "Hey, I'm Bubsy, and I'll be your very best friend." Yeah,
No, go away.
it's like that throughout the whole lot of gameplay. You do not want him to be your friend. You don't want to play as Bubsy. You just want to go back to Crash Bandicoot.
Like I said, always has to be. Don't do this, Bank. That's not nice.
Oh. Mind you, I've got to laugh at this because Crash Bandicoot 2 came out a couple of years, about a year later than this, and it had the snowy stages with the polar bear. And I'm looking at the design of this level, and I can't help but think that the design of it in Crash Bandicoot 2, the snow stages, were partly ripped from this, as a way of saying, this is what you get for trying to rip off our icon. So yeah, I do think that, but they just changed it from underwater to snowy land and improved upon it. The underwater missions are just, like everything, dull and he's even worse to control underwater. I never thought I'd say it. There are glitches galore throughout the game, as you probably saw earlier on in some of the cutscenes, and enemies swarm you. And it's no wonder why the studio entered problems like it did, I think. I don't know if it went bankrupt or anything, but to be honest, I don't care. I've just... oh... Doing this review is feeling like an eternity. I don't care if I missed one rocket, you plank. Oh crap, there's that much more. Well, there's 18 missions throughout the game. And yes, another chemical factory mission. I did skip some parts, but I will tell you now, you're really not missing anything. It's just rinse and repeat, 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 rinse and repeat. Aye. This part of the game is absolutely insane to play, because you've got an enemy up there who's trying to get to you, an enemy there who's trying to shoot you, another enemy there who's trying to shoot you, and it's very hard to avoid them, especially as you'll probably be low on health at that point, like I was, as proven. And this is one of those missions that is a complete and utter maze. You'll probably be wondering a lot, how the fuck did this game get made? How did it get released? I don't think there's ever been a fully conclusive answer to that. But one thing I forgot to mention though was in between Bubsy, I think it was 1 and 2, or 2 and the Jaguar game, which acts as Bubsy 3. There was also an unaired Bubsy pilot for a Bubsy cartoon series. You actually do get that as an extra on the collection. Believe me. In fact, you can actually watch my review of it, which has the whole cartoon itself and my review speaking over it. It's not worth your time. It really isn't worth your time watching it, because it's the same jokes being rinsed and recycled again and again and again, and one joke gets, I kid you not, one joke gets recycled about 16 times in the space of a 22-minute episode. And it wasn't even funny to begin with. But back to this game. There was no special stages this time. No Arnie the Armadillo, no Bubsy launching frogs, which I kind of enjoyed in Bubsy 2. I didn't play through Bubsy on the Jaguar because I got stuck on a really stupid level, so I gave up. And as for Bubsy 2 on the Game Boy, I got stuck at an early point, and from what I understand through a good friend of mine, It's not my fault I got stuck. It's just the game itself is terrible. It's a terrible port of a mediocre game. And yeah, I'm not going to bother. But this game, I heard for years and years it was bad, but I thought to myself, it can't be that bad, surely. I played it, briefly, as I said, a few years back, and I thought, yeah, it's fairly bad, I will say that. But as I got further and further into the game, it was gobsmackingly awful. I couldn't believe some of the gameplay faults, and this is on the remastered version of the game, which comes packaged with the Perfect Collection. I couldn't believe it. This is the version, because the original copy of the game was made only for D-pad controllers. This version was made for both D-pad and analog controllers. And I thought, it's still terrible. It's inexcusable. And as for the final stage of the game, Jesus Christ. The boss battle at the end is pathetic. But to get to the boss battle, half of the puzzles only work when they want to work. If you're going to call them puzzles, that is. They only work for you as and when they want to work. For example, there is a part where you have to enter this room where there's 4 switches of different colours, and you have to press them in a certain order. I didn't know this when I went in. Oh, we're on the second boss now, and of course, guess what you have to do? Well, to be fair, they do mix it up a bit. You have to wait until he stumbles onto his backside. Yep. And then you jump on him. Do that about 4 times and then he skids off out of the arena. But I'm going to make you watch it all. You need to see the pain I went through. Because I was on this boss battle for a number of days. Because it wasn't down to the fact I didn't know what to do. It's down to the fact that the camera system is so terrible that I kept bumping into the lasers. And when it comes to the open shots where you can actually hit the boss, you only have about 2 seconds. And half the time, the collision detection picks it up as you being the one who gets hit, when it's actually you hitting the boss. But anyway, back to that room I was on about. You find a room in the final stage which has 4 switches. You have to press them in a certain order. It only works when it wants to work, not when you want it to work. But when it works, you'll unlock the path to the final boss, which is the 2 enemy woolies, and they're now separated, and they're now firing lasers at you or something. yeah, you can imagine. Anyway, we are gradually getting there. This is like the bunch of stages before the final boss. And you may have noticed they're just remixes of all the previous stages. We have the disco jiving sun again. You check it, and I have no idea how that happened. But anyway, at the end of that mission, you get the code, and there's glitches again. Look. Then you go on to this pointless Sky Rails mission. Believe me, it is so frustrating to try and get through this mission. You do not control the hover boat. You don't get to control it. You only get to control the camera. But every time you come up next to another sky bus, you then have to jump into that sky bus to continue on your journey. Easier said than done. What I find helps though with jumping is when you're about to jump, tilt the camera over Bubsy's head to the point where you want to angle it to where you're about to jump. You also have spiders to help you travel across the sea. Now, this is what I mean in what you have to do with the hover buses. Except that. Just like that. And there's even a glitch where your hover bus will be invisible or just in front of you. So how that happened to get by developers, I have no idea. To be honest, I'm that exhausted by this game, I can't even be bothered to get rage mode now. Then on to the final stage, I believe. It's basically a hodgepodge of everything that's come before. It's not epic. It really isn't epic. You get to defeat the two woolies and that's it. It sucks!